Just to let you know, I'm going to be releasing my book series South, starting with book one, The Pinewood High School Incident. And I'll be releasing it via chapters, starting with chapter one being released on November the 18th. So if you're ready to follow me along this journey as I share my writings with you, please feel free to listen to it and give me feedback. What you have to say, I really appreciate. I'm really interested in sharing this story, and I hope that I catch you in the comments. All right, thank you. Whew, all right, we made it to the last day of the work week, Friday, everybody's favorite day. Trying to get your checks and go spend it all on candy or whatever, right? I hope not. Unless you got it like that. I mean, hey, if you got that money, go ahead and spend it. I'm not mad at you. Today, I want to talk about how to not stifle your creativity. This is kind of like a sister kind of touching on the topic from Thursday about checking yourself out of the spiral, because when we get into the mindset of content creation, it can feel daunting to have to fit into a specific mode. But there is a way around that, and I am here to help guide you. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get into the topic. This might actually be a pretty short one, but I don't know. I talk a lot, so we'll see. All right, let's do it. So, again, with the topic being how to be a creative while writing horrific, graphic, murderous intent kind of content. I'm just joking around. We're talking about today on how not to be bland. I guess I should put it like that. It's kind of hard in this kind of space to be as free and creative as possible and then still tell a compelling message, or a message that would compel someone to go to Christ. Um, but there are ways. There is a way. So what I mean by that is, once you have checked yourself and you've gotten yourself right with your leadership, you can remain confident in knowing that you are doing the Lord's work. Again, that confirmation comes when you're sharing what you do with the people who are geared towards the same mindset that you are. When you're going to your pastor and you're going to your elders, and you're sharing your ministry with them, and they can help guide you in the right way of how to present that. And everybody feels confident that this is what God has truly led you to do. You know, that's when you know that you're on the right track. It's just all about honing what you do. It's about getting everything prioritized the right way so that when you do it, you can do it to the best of your ability. You're not just going out and doing something. Like I said before a while back, that's what I did. I just went out and I did something, and I gave myself away to the world, hoping that the world would return to sentiment, but it didn't. Well, the church is different. When you give yourself to God and you throw yourself into the word and you use the word to share the message through the gifts and the talents that he's giving you, well, the church gives back to you with everything that it has: its leadership, its positioning, its backbone, basically. You know, people are willing to go to bat for you in this community. It's just that you have to follow what has been established. You can't just go off on your random tangents about something you thought was right. You have to make sure that you're staying in constant contact with everybody around you. If that's the goal, if that's really what you're there for, to help win souls, well, then that's what you're going to do. We're going to win souls here. And we're not going to feel as though we're not able to be who we are, because who we are is dictated by God. What we are is dictated by God. And as we continue to go through the word and continue to get stronger in that mindset, we are able to then move on with whatever it is that God has for us in ministry. Remember to conduct yourselves as believers throughout the process and beyond. Remember that you're there to represent the God that we serve. So, yes, you'll want to have this crazy car crash scene and these burn victim scenes and these, you'll want to rap about this one thing. You'll want to draw this one controversial image or whatever it is. But as long as you understand that you're representing God, when you do your work knowing that it's God who's ultimately judging it, well then that's where it all is. That's understanding the fact that you can't just do whatever you want. That's understanding that even though you might feel a certain type of way about this particular topic, that as long as the word has something to say with it or say for it, that it's okay. But if it doesn't, you gotta let it go. You gotta move on. You can't just do and then say, oh, well, I'm a Christian, so okay, here we go. No, that's not how it works. It's okay to draft your work as wild as you want, but on the rework session, make sure that you clean it up. And I say that because I've done that. In my drafting, I will go wild. Influences, other types of content from different places, all of these different things, all these crazy deep dive research studies and all this other stuff on particular topics. And I'm thinking, oh snap, yo, this is real, this is raw, I'm really doing something. But then I have to reground myself. I have to say, you know what, I got this entire crazy narrative out of this particular situation. I've drafted up this crazy screenplay or this crazy book. Now let's go into the word. Let's counteract all of that craziness that I just put down on paper and really start referencing the word in there. Let's start changing and building a proper narrative around what the message really is. And when you do it that way, you don't have to worry, because then after that, and after you get your draft, your second draft finished, whatever, you can present that to the church. You can present that to your leadership. Your leadership can go over that. Your leadership can tell you, hey, okay, well, yeah, you said this and this actually works, but you might want to change this up because the word actually says this about this particular topic. You might want to go and say something about how this can go this way. Expound on it with this. And when you do it that way, you don't have anything else to worry about, because now you know that without a shadow of a doubt, you are right in that context. Your message is going forward. The message is going forward. The proper mindset is going forward. The proper leadership has guided this work to where now it can be presented in a particular fashion. And people are so afraid to utilize that because they're afraid that their work won't be theirs. Well, think about it like this. If you're putting yourself under an umbrella to put out some content, thinking that it's yours, but you're utilizing the church or utilizing whoever you're utilizing for your leadership, it's not yours at that point. It's the communities. It's the community that you're serving. For me and in the church, my work isn't mine, it's God's. And so what I'm doing is I'm giving it back to God. I'm using it for God to give back to him tenfold, basically. Is that clicking? Is that catching on? Is helping you understand that better? When you're looking at your work and you're seeing it for what it is, and it's just a massive sinful, thoughtless, indulgence, right? But then you're like, okay, I can turn this into a proper narrative that can actually win a soul here, and you're utilizing things in the right way. Now it becomes something different. It becomes something that was actually tailored, and specifically tailored for the purpose of ministry and kingdom building. Oh, well, in conclusion, I would have to say this. Don't worry about the building of or the beginning processes of your work. Don't worry about the construction of the tower. Just make sure that before you finish it, that it's upright. It's not leaning over. It's not about to crash on the people below. Make sure that when you're building that skyscraper, you set a solid foundation from the beginning. Make sure that you know who to go to when you feel like you're being trapped in some type of situation or some type of narrative or whatever. Make sure that when you're going to your leadership, you're going to your leadership with the knowledge that you've gained from reading the word in the first place. Don't just rely on your leadership to tell you everything. Don't just rely on the people around you to tell you about God and let that be it. No, you need to go and learn God for yourself. Let him be in you so that when you have him in you, you'll be able to expound, you'll be able to share and to guide people the right way through your work. And then cross reference that with the help that God's giving you. He has given you help. You have help. The help is here. So go to that help. And don't think that you're alone in the process. Don't stifle your creativity by being alone. Be creative with the people that God's given to you to help you in the endeavor. All right, everybody. Thanks again for all of your support. Be sure to subscribe to Podbean or subscribe to me on Podbean. And please send me comments. I definitely appreciate it. You can also hit me up on Twitter. I'm there as well. And with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.